we've been reflecting on the period of adolescence, so 12 to 15-year-olds, and just what a special time in someone's life that is. How they're not children and they're not adults, and they're going through this transition, and they have new powers and new capacities that are unlocked to them. And so really what an honor it is to be able to serve with that age group and help them channel all of these new powers and energies towards service to humanity and to their community.
Mind is open to new ideas. You're learning how to become an adult in your own way. You want to learn as much as possible about the world, and you are growing and developing your mental, your spiritual and your physical qualities all at the same time. So it's an important age to learn the right values and qualities.
This is a time in most people's lives where they're questioning everything, and they're being propelled into adulthood, and a lot more is being asked of them than there was as children. But at the same time, society has this view of them that they're not good enough, that they're troublesome, that they want to cause problems, that they misbehave, and that they don't really know what they're doing with their lives. And so with these two things, it creates life to be really difficult.
With that, in essence, it's the foundation that builds up a young person's personality, and that's when their experiences start to shape their attitudes towards society and will actually very easily determine. But then also the fact that it's the most influential part of your life. Obviously thinking back to when I was in high school, it was quite an enjoyable time, but then it also shaped me as a person today. So we aim to think that if we could fix the frame of mind in that 12 to 15, help develop these moral and spiritual concepts within a person that is developing intellectually, then you would be able to successfully make a better society for the younger generation. And actually, I like to draw upon one of the famous quotes from one of the psychologists that I studied. I believe it was George Miller, who said that give me any child of any race, age or socioeconomical background, and I can change that person into the next doctor, lawyer or psychologist. But just as I can do that, I can also turn him into the next criminal. And that just goes to show that the environment and the influences around you play such a detrimental effect as to whether or not it's a positive way or a negative way is up to how you shape the environment around you.
Early adolescence, what's so special about that age group? I think it's more the question is what is not so special about it. I think in terms of development, it's the most significant part of someone's life. It's the point where they're leaving behind childhood, they're entering into adulthood, and then abundant amounts of change are happening physically, but also intellectually and spiritually.
It's when our mind is more malleable. So we start asking these certain questions in our life, like, what does it mean to be a human being? What is my role in society? What will I do with the rest of my life? Who are my friends? So these questions start emerging. And also, at this age, they have many talents, powers emerging as well. So as older youth, we're really thinking about how we can channel these powers towards positive forces in society.
They've got new sort of emerging talents and powers because of the rapid change they're going through within themselves, both physically as well as intellectually and spiritually, and all of this is accompanied by a lot of emotional change as well. And I think that because of all this change, they're also more susceptible to the forces in society, which perhaps weren't acting on them so much when they were children. So all the different forces we were describing earlier, like materialism, competition, attraction to beauty, all of them. And I think that service plays an important role in their development because it helps to channel these emerging powers in a really positive direction. Like, they're naturally and innately very selfless at that age, so it's very natural for them to be thinking and observing and developing all their powers of expression, to really to describe the world around them with clarity, to be able to see the reality of the world around them, and then to be able to also act on what they're observing and contribute to change through service. So I see that as being really central to their empowerment, that their powers can be channeled constructively in that way.
At the ages of 12 to 15 are a very special age for young girls and boys, as this is a time of physical and spiritual and emotional change. These changes are crucial for enabling these young kids in order for them to distinguish the good and the bad, and also being guided on the right path.
And a lot of new powers come into existence at that age, and if they're not channeled in the right way, often it can cause a lot of confusion and a lot of worry, and that can lead to like contradictions in young people's behaviours. But it requires environments which help young people to really channel those new emerging powers into selfless service to their community. And the Junior Spiritual Empowerment Programme, which we've been learning about, is something that really has allowed young people to be able to do that in their communities.